Man, it's cold. So cold. I know what you're looking at. It looks like snow. But that's not snow. That's 8 inches of solid ice. Everywhere. Covering everything. Including the shop. Fields are covered. The roof is covered. Everything is covered. Ice as far as the eye can see. There's the roof of the shop, covered in ice. There's the Tundra. Gotta get her into the shop so that we can do some work. Man, I hope I can get those doors open. I had to chip the ice off of them to get them open the other day. But I think we can do it. Why don't we try to get these doors open? Then we can drive the old Tundra inside where it's slightly warmer. Maybe get some work done. Come with me. Let's see what we can do. Gotta park this drone somewhere first. Back of the truck will work. Sit her down gently. Gently! Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. I'm Kyle the Tool Rambler, and today we'll be having some fun with the Tundra. If prior Tundra videos are any indication, about 24 people will watch this, so hopefully I can entertain those 24 people. I hope that drone sequence I remembered to press record. If not, this is going to sound kind of strange because there won't be any drone footage to show you, but if it worked, it'll be great. And if my channel ever gets monetized, now I can deduct the value of that drone, so that'll be a good thing. Speaking of monetized, remember, subscribe. I'm trying to hit 26,000 by the end of the year. I only need 25,690 something left. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Remember, it's free. Lifetime subscriptions. I'm giving them out all year, so jump on, join the bandwagon while you can. All right, so today we're going to be working on something that doesn't get talked about much, and I think it should get talked about a lot more. It's called the PCV valve. It's your positive crankcase ventilation valve. Let me show you what that looks like. That's this thing right here. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's got a little ball and a spring in there. It's a check valve. And what this does, when your cylinders are combusting, when there's combustion going on in the cylinders, sometimes those combustion gases, including gasoline, water vapor, other things, can get past your piston rings and get down into the crankcase. And that'll mix up with your oil, and that can create sludge. But as those things get down in there, pressure builds up in your crankcase, which is where your oil is kept. So this valve allows that to escape, and what it does is it reroutes it back into the combustion chamber so it can be burned and gone through your catalytic converter and out the tailpipe, and then you don't get sludge build up in your oil. So I don't know why I'm only hearing about this now. I know I'm slow. I'm late to the party. I'm sure all of you great mechanics out there know all about the PCV valve, but they never tell you about this. And I've been doing research because I'm trying to do more and more work on my own vehicles, because we all know vehicles cost too dang much money. Nobody can afford new ones. You got to keep the old ones running, and it costs a lot of money to pay mechanics to do it. God bless the mechanics. I'm glad you're there, but I'd rather do it myself, save a few bucks. Hopefully I can do it right. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Another thing I'm going to show you, if you look, this is a 2014 Tundra. If you look at the lights in here, hopefully you can tell they're kind of yellowish. I don't really like that amber color. So I've got some new LEDs that we're going to install, and hopefully it'll make it brighter. It's not only on the interior, it'll be some of these lights out here. So we'll get all of that done. Hopefully I can get all that done and it'll look good, and the Tundra will be updated for 2026. Let me show you where that valve we're talking about is. I'm going to take this cover off. Doesn't serve any purpose other than just to make the engine look pretty. But right down here, there's some insulation. Man, it's crumbly. But there's a hose right here. We're gonna work that off if we can. Okay, hopefully you can see that a little bit better, and it's firmly mounted. I don't have to hold it. I can use both hands. Let's see if I can get this insulation out without destroying it. So this is supposed to just pop right off. And of course it's not cooperating. There is a tool for just such an occasion. Okay, that one's off. And let me see if I can get some light down in here. There. Maybe we can all see a little bit better. Way down there is a green valve, just like the one I just showed you. All right, I'll set that there. Can you see it? The valve is right down there at the bottom of that. It's not in the right spot though. All right, we got the hose out. Hopefully you can see the valve. It's right there. That is a 22 millimeter valve or bolt or hex, whatever. So, but it's plastic, so we want to be very careful with how we do this. Don't want to crank too hard on it. I'll get in there. I think she's free. Nope, still not free. Okay, it is out. Now, shake it, and I do not hear much. There's the old one, there's the new one. This one, you can hear it. This one, not much going on there, so it's time to change it. So see, there is an O-ring here. So I've got just a little bit of motor oil. I'm gonna put on that O-ring, hopefully keep it from drying out. And I'm gonna go back down in here. Hopefully you can see there. I try to get it back in there and get it started by hand, because this is a plastic thread going into aluminum. You do not want to cross thread this. It will destroy it pretty quick. Okay, I've got it started. Now remember, we are not going to torque this down. We just want to get it in there hand tight. I'm not even going to use the ratchet to put it back in, because I don't want to put any more torque on there than is absolutely necessary. Okay, that feels like it is tight. I'm just going to make sure. Yeah, we're going to call that a day, because I did watch another guy do this on a different channel and he broke it off in there, and that's not something that we want to do. So now you'll pop this back over that valve. Pop this one back on here. Make sure everything is tight. That is seated. This one is seated. We're going to put that insulation back in there. Somebody thought it was important. Look at that. It fits right back in where it belongs. So now our positive crankcase valve has been restored. We know the old one was not working because, like I said, when you shake it, you're not hearing anything. I hear barely a rattle. So that was nice and gunked up. 180,000 miles on that. You probably want to change it every 50 to 60,000. I'm a novice mechanic, so I don't know these things. I'm slowly learning. Hopefully I'm helping you guys learn as well. Oil does look pretty good. If it's bad, you'll start noticing sludge. It almost looks like mud. You don't want to see that ever in your engine. So what do we have? So our oil looks pretty good. It is not sludgy. We did change it probably not even 3 months ago. It does look good. It is between the low and the high mark, so oil is in good shape. Tastes pretty good. Not too smoky. Just how you want it. So alright, all of our underhood is done. Oh, and by the way, Harbor Freight pliers. This was for getting that hose off of there in one piece. And this also helped me get down there and squeeze that hose clamp and get it out of there. So, very pleased with the Harbor Freight tools. Say what you want about them. I think they do darn well. So now that that's complete, let's button all this up, and I'm going to put this right back where I found it. All right, moving on to the next category. Okay, for our next little project, we are going to replace the standard bulbs that are on the Tundra, or a lot of the bulbs, with these LEDs. There's a whole bunch of different kinds. These are pretty cool. They have them for the vanity mirrors. You can see that. They have them for the overhead dome lights, and they even have them for the the footwell lights. They have them for the lights underneath the rear view mirrors, the courtesy lights there. So we're going to go in there and we are going to install these. This kit, I think I paid less than $30 for it. It might have been even less than that. Shine, of course, made in China, but you can see it comes with all of that. Even comes with a little pry tool so that you can take your interior apart, hopefully without destroying it. So we're going to start with the vanity mirror, so let's move inside and get this thing done. Alright, so here we are inside the vehicle. These are the lights we're going to be replacing. As you can see, they're kind of dull and dingy. So I'm just going to shut that. See if I can pry this off of here. Yeah, there we go. That one comes out. And then try to do this without damaging anything. It just looks like it's a light bulb, but it just looks like a fuse. So that's the old bulb. Looks like just a typical old-fashioned fuse. All right, when you put them in, make sure the little yellow squares face out. So I'm gonna just, and there you go. So remember, just like a battery, there is a positive and a negative terminal because, of course, it's a car. It's DC. So if you want to see the difference, obviously the new one's on the left, the old one's on the right. All right, nice bright light. So I'm going to go along. Just see that? So I'm going to go around and do the rest of these, and then I'll show you the final product once it's done. Okay guys, I got most of the lights changed out. So I ran into one little glitch on what's called the puddle lights. Those are the little lights that are on the bottom of the side view mirrors. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about here. So on this one, you have like a little plug here, and this thing just, if I could do it without breaking anything, this thing just pulls right out. And then you end up with this little plug bulb like all the others I've run into. So pop that back in there. See, so that goes in there. Then this pops back in here. And there's like a little tab right there. All right, so that's that. The other side is a completely different light fixture. For here on the passenger side, it's a completely different socket, and it doesn't have the same kind of light bulbs. I actually broke it taking it out, and I had to glue it back together. So I'm not going to be able to put the LED on this side. I'll be lucky if I can get this thing back in there, to tell you the truth. That's what I'm hoping anyway, that I can just get this to pop back in there. We'll pretend like this never even happened. Maybe it goes this way. I don't know if you guys can see any of that. Okay, it's in there. Somehow it locked. But it still works, so. All right, that's good. I got this side done, and what's really cool about it is, so like if you're getting in and out of the vehicle, you get that little light. Before it was that amber, nasty yellow looking light, so now it's a white light. Also, when you get on the inside, so we've got bright white lights inside now everywhere. That one over there is the same. I'm not going to open it up, but you saw that earlier. So that's cool. Even the little footwell light down here is now a white LED. So all of that was done. The only thing I didn't do, obviously that other one, because the light bulb is not compatible, I did not do the cargo lights up here, because I'd have to get on top of the tonneau cover. I really didn't feel like doing that, but that's not a big deal. I don't really use the cargo lights because I've got the tonneau cover. And I also did not change out the, let me turn the lights on here, the lights for the license plate light. I may do that later, but it seemed like a lot more involved. I might have to get up underneath it, and it's cold out here. I just didn't feel like doing it, but no big deal. We will get that taken care of at a different date. I took it for a test drive. Everything ran great, but the PCV valve, that's the positive crankcase ventilation valve. As I explained before, that's what keeps your oil from turning to sludge when you get blow-by of gasoline and water vapor and stuff going by your piston ring. So it recirculates it back into the combustion chamber and burns it off so that you don't have to get that into your oil. So make sure you're replacing that everything I read is different. It looks like 35 to 50,000 miles. This one's at 180,000, hasn't had it done yet. So I'm glad I finally got it done. I'm also going to do it on my Ram. That one's got 80,000 miles. Coming up, I've got the coolant and the transmission fluid. I'm also going to do the front and rear differential plus the transfer case. So I got a lot of work to do on this one. Going to do the same thing on the Ram. Maybe I'll take you guys along for the ride. I mean, I've got nothing better to do, so I might as well film it while I'm doing it. So don't forget, subscribe for the rest of the year. It's free. Nobody's going to give you a better deal on Facebook than free for life. If you miss it this year, you're going to kick yourself. People are going to be making fun of you. Why didn't you get it while it was free for life? And one of these days, I'm going to have lots and lots of content, and it might actually be good for a change. So maybe, you know, when it's good, you'll be glad you had the lifetime subscription. So stick around. There's a lot more to come. And until next time, guys, ramble on.
Well, it's over. It's definitely over.